Kar Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Brakatah Howell, Brakatah Howell Shai, Brakatah Howell, Brakatah Howell Shai, Brakatah Howell, Brakatah Howell Shai, the water, Abba Abba, Kar Kadash. I'd like to give double honors to the elders, apostles, great millstone that teach this truth, 100% truth. Title is going to be "Do Not Keep Company with Wicked People." And this lesson is kind of inspired by some events that happened in my life. Actually, not too long ago, recently, and one thing when you're in this truth, you have to be careful. And as we grow in this truth, we have to be careful of certain things that we do or people that we be around, and not get caught up in the things of this world, because it can have deadly consequences, or it can just change and alter your life as a whole in a split second. So we have to definitely be careful of the type of people that we do associate ourselves with or hang around. And just like if you have a child, you don't want your child hanging out. You warn him about hanging out with a certain group of kids, and those kids, they out stealing, they out breaking into cars and things like that. Even though you might have a good child, you don't want him hanging with them. If you do catch him hanging with them, what you're going to do? You're going to punish them. And that's the same way with our Father, man. If he catch us out and keeping bad company, there's going to be some repercussions for it. Some things, something's going to happen to remind you to get back on track, And we have to be very careful, because he could easily just take us out, and take us back to the spirit world. So definitely have to keep that in mind when we are here maneuvering, in this world, especially on our free time. So first precept to back that up is going to be the book of Psalms, chapter 26, verse 4 and 5. I have not sat with vain persons, neither will I go in with dissemblers. I have hated the congregation of evildoers, and will not sit with the wicked. So do not keep company, man. Matter of fact, I'm going to look that word up, dissemblers. Just do a simple Google search real quick. Dissemblers. Simple Google definition: faking and pretending, hiding and disguising. That's from the Cambridge Dictionary. Dissembler, a person who is inwardly evil but outwardly professes to be virtuous. So that's a simple Google search of dissemblers. I have not sat with vain persons, neither will I go in with dissemblers. I have hated the congregation of evildoers, and will not sit with the wicked. So not keep company with the wicked, man. We see people, try to give them a little bit of the truth, see where their mind's at. Their conversations come out that's filthy and wicked. You disassociate yourself. You separate yourself from these people. And as I go further along, it'll kind of give you a reason why we should not keep company with evildoers, man. The book of Psalms, chapter 1, verse 1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. So, you want to keep your blessings, man. You separate yourselves from these people. A lot of them may be our old friends, we come in contact with over the years, people that we may have hung with before. And you see how the conversation's going and how they live in their life, man, then, you find your way out of it. You find your way away from them. And, we can choose our company, man. We have that right and ability to choose who we want to be around and who we don't want to be around. Of course, we can't be around godly men all the time, because the world we in is full of wickedness and hatred, man. So we have to be very careful how we move. A lot of times, you just maybe find yourself by yourself a lot of times, depends on the situation or circumstances where you at. Sometimes, we just can't stay at home all the time. We do want to go out and maybe get a beer or, have something to drink or whatever, go to a sports bar. But be careful and mindful who you keep company with when you do these things, man. Like I said, it's a very valuable lesson I learned. I could have, probably easily lost my life, but the Lord did, the Lord did chastise me, man. He chastised the hell out of me, man. And I thank him for it because I know that by him doing that, it's put me back on point, man, because I didn't realize that doing that, really displeases the Lord. Then after I took time to go back and reevaluate myself and understand, and pray to the Lord for forgiveness, man, I had a clear understanding of why and what happened. And we have to do that. We have to examine ourselves, when certain things do happen to us. Because a lot of times, things that happen to us don't happen for no reason. A lot of times we going off in certain ways or we've done certain things. So kind of keep that in mind, man. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 33. Be not deceived. Evil communications corrupt good manners. So just because you may be on point, like I tell my son, if you put you around those people, eventually, it's going to rub off on you. It's going to change who you are just from you just being and keeping company with those people. Or I tell my kids, be careful and mindful who you hang around with. And that's the same thing with us. Even though we have more wisdom and we can control ourselves a little bit more, but we don't realize, man, that certain things is going to bleed off or leach off into you, and it's going to corrupt you before you know it. And that's how a lot of brothers get shifted out of this truth, man. And, either through bad friends or either dealing with a wicked woman. You think that you find yourself that you think that you can handle those type of situations before you know it, you're caught up. And then next thing you know, you're doing wickedly. And the same thing, happened to King Solomon. He had all those wives, but in the end, it eventually took him over because he ended up worshiping their gods in the end. And that's one of the things that that kind of stains his legacy, man. And when he came back as Yahushua, he had to pay for it. He had to pay the price for it. And not only for his sins, but for our sins as well. He became the ultimate sacrifice. We're going to read 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 9 on down to verse 11. I wrote unto you in an epistle not to company with fornicators. Now, fornicators are people who do, what's the word I'm trying to use? Well, hell, let's look it up. Let's look up fornicators. What is a fornicator? A person who has sexual intercourse with someone to whom they, well, no, that's going on. That's going on. It's trying to say a person who they are not married, but really, this society teaches that, but really having sex is really marriage, man. When you have sex with somebody, that's really marriage, Let's go to the blue letter and look up fornicator. Shit, I may not have it on here. Damn. Yeah, I do. Fornicator.
Strong's G 4205. Parnas.
Parnas. So that's a Strong's word. And the definition, a man who prostitutes his body to another lusts for her. A male prostitute, a man who indulges in unlawful sexual intercourse or fornication. So that's what fornicator is. Shit. Okay. I wrote unto you in epistles to not company with fornicators. Verse 10, yet not altogether with fornicators of this world, or with covetous, or extortioners, or with idolaters, or then must ye needs go out of the world. In verse 11, but now I have written unto you not to keep company if any man that is called a brother be a fornicator, or covetous, or an idolater, or a railer, or a drunkard, or extortioner, with such and one know not to eat. So you don't sit down and keep company. You don't sit down and have drinks. You don't sit down and, have dinner with these type of people, man. Wicked, vile people. People with lewd behavior. So be very, very, very mindful who you keep your company around, man, because the Lord, it displeases him when he see you in the company of bad people, people, because you were supposed to be his chosen, man, or the ones that he's called on, Hopefully we're chosen in the end, but we also be out here representing the Lord, man. How can we represent the Lord when we out here hanging out with these type of people, keeping company with them, inviting them over to your house or going over to their house, those type of things. Book of Psalms, chapter 26, verse 2. Verse 2, we're going to read on down through 6. Examine me, O Lord, Yahweh, and prove me. Try my reins and my heart. For thy loving kindness is before my eyes. I have walked in thy truth. I have not sat with vain persons, neither will I go in with dissemblers. I have hated the congregation of evildoers, and I will not sit with the wicked. I will wash my hands in innocency, so will I compass thine altar, O Lord. So that's the kind of slate, that's the kind of report we want to go back to the Lord, man, that we're doing the things that he asks us to do, that we don't sit there and mix and congregate with people who we're not supposed to be around and just, get caught up in wickedness, So that's kind of report that we always want to have with the Lord, man. Proverbs chapter 13, verse 20. He that walketh with the wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed. And you're hanging around with these people, it's easily to get caught up. Next thing you know, you can easily lose your life, man, for dealing with those type of people, man. Because death is always going to be around, because that's part of death culture, man. When you sin, man, it invites, death, or what's the other word I'm trying to use? But invite bad things, to happen to you. If you're not mindful of what you're doing and who you're around, and what you. We're going to go into Book of Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 24 and 25. Make no friendship with an angry man, and with a furious man thou shalt not go, lest thou learn his ways and get a snare to thy soul. Because, there's a lot of young cats, man, that's been caught up in prison that really weren't bad kids, that hung around with the wrong crowd. And then when something go down, it's usually that young Jake, who wasn't a bad guy. He was just there for the ride. And he ends up getting the one that's taken to the spirit world. He ended up catching a stray, catching a bullet that really wasn't intended for him. But by the company that he keeps, it leaves him open, and therefore a lot of times, they'd be the main ones that's going to get it, or they'd be the ones that end up doing major prison time for something that not nine times, a lot of times that they did not do. They had no part in, they was just there for the ride and they got caught up. And I known cats, man, that went when I was younger, that went they went to a house to jump another group of guys at a party or something like that. Lord, thank the Lord that I wasn't there at that time, because I might have been caught up. And this is when I was young and dumb and not really, you don't have wisdom to kind of guide you, man. So they pretty much looking for pretty much a straight up fight, and one of the guys, or one of our so-called friends, they didn't know he was packing, and he pulled out that heat, and he ended up smoking the guy there, and it was military guy that he ended up smoking, and then the whole group got clumped in with that, and they all did some serious time behind it, man. They lost all their youth and lost major time because they clumped it in as I forgot what they called it, maiming by mob charge, and messed up a lot of them in the head, when they came back. When I did see them many years later when they were finally released, But that's all it takes, man. Just hanging with the wrong type of person with the wrong type of energy, and it could change your whole life, forever, So keep that in mind. But that scripture definitely stands out there, man. Make no friends with the angry man, and with the furious man thou shalt not go. See, if those brothers wouldn't have went, they wouldn't have lost, about 20 years of their life, man, in the pen. Lest thou learn his ways and get a snare to thy soul. And part of that snare, them traps, man. Them traps are always laid out there in the hoods, in these places, man, for you jakes, man, to get caught up. And you know how it is. You don't get the same justice system that Esau Edom when he goes to prison. He can go there for the same crime, same thing, and maybe more heinous. And if he even get any prison time, they may give him counseling or house arrest or something of that nature. But you jakes go, they're going to give you the maximum, man. And that's how these other brothers was that I was with, man. Them cats weren't in no serious problems, man. They worked, had jobs. We were young, but one false move by one dude there, man, and all of them end up getting life sentences, man, behind it. And like I said, they lumped them all in to a maiming by mob charge. There was a gun, and somebody ended up losing their life behind it, and so they end up losing a majority of their youth, man, their lives, man, behind it. Second Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion hath light with darkness? So you can't mix the two together, man. Light and dark don't mix together, man. There's no gray areas in this truth, man. It's cut and dry. It's good and it's bad, man. And you have to pick a side and stick with that side. There's no crossing over, there's no mixing in the middle. Because we do, same way it is with these gangs, man. They catch you dealing with and maneuvering with the other side. I forget the name that they call it, man, but they'll take you out behind that. They don't play that. Same way with this truth, man. It's deadly serious. So be very mindful of who and what you deal with, dealing out here in society, dealing amongst your peers. Well, they really not your peers, but dealing with, individuals, that's out here. That goes for the men and the women that you might deal with in your life. Make sure you pick and choose who you be around with wisely. 2 Thessalonians chapter 3 and 6. Now we command you, brethren, in the name of the Lord Yahweh and Yahushua the Hamashiach, that ye withdraw yourselves from every brother that walketh disorderly, and not after the tradition which ye received of us. So same way as Yahushua, man, that's supposed to be our big brother, man. We supposed to mimic his ways. He's not going to hang out there with evildoers. You try to, you give them the word. If they don't receive it, you keep it moving, because they're not moving on the same same wavelength that you on, man. You have to separate yourselves, man. We're not of this world. Always remember that. If we was of this world, the world would accept us. So with that being said, man, hopefully this lesson edifying. And your brother Malakama. And with that, say shalom.